All right, today we're going to dive into the incredibly powerful life philosophy of Jim Rohn. We're going to break down the 6 key principles that literally took him from being flat broke to becoming a millionaire. And the best part? These are all things you can apply to your own life starting today. You ever have that feeling, you're putting in all the hours, you're sincere, you're ambitious, but you're just not getting anywhere? It's so frustrating, right? Well, if that sounds even a little bit familiar, you're in good company. That's exactly where a guy named Jim Rohn found himself at the start of his career. So, picture this. He's got a family to support, a pile of bills that just keeps growing, and this nagging feeling that something is just fundamentally wrong with his approach to everything. I mean, he was doing all the things he was told would lead to success, but he just kept falling further and further behind. His entire reality came down to this number, $57. That was his weekly paycheck. That was it. As he famously put it, he had far too much month left over at the end of the money. This wasn't just a tight budget. This was a full-blown crisis. And that crisis led to this shocking realization. For someone who was raised to believe that pure effort was the only thing that mattered, this thought was world-shattering. It basically forced him to question everything he thought he knew and, luckily for him, opened the door for a totally new way of thinking. That moment of crisis, it became his turning point. He was finally ready for an answer, and an answer found him in the form of a mentor. This one encounter led him to a whole new philosophy that would completely redefine his life, all built around a simple but powerful idea: the 6 things that really matter. Mr. Shoaff didn't give him a new job or a loan, nothing like that. He gave him something way more valuable, a new perspective, a way of seeing the world that unlocked all the potential Rohn already had inside him. And this was the core of it all. Not 100 things, not 50, just 6. Mr. Shoaff taught him that massive success doesn't come from doing thousands of things, but from absolutely mastering a handful of vital principles. So let's break down what those are. This quote just nails the whole concept. In pretty much any area of life, there are a few key fundamentals that drive the vast majority of the results. The secret isn't just working harder, it's about working smarter, putting focused effort on the things that actually count. So, what's the very first of these fundamentals? Well, it's a complete reframing of how we think about goals. It turns out the real reason to set goals isn't what most of us have been taught. Now, this is powerful. It's a total shift in focus from the prize to the process. The real value of aiming for $1 million isn't the $1 million. It's the discipline, the skills, and the character you have to build to become the kind of person who earns that million. Just look at this contrast right here. On one side, you have how most people see goals. It's like a shopping list for life. But on the other side, Rohn taught that goals are a curriculum for your own personal development. See, you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. And this idea is so important, it's actually the second key principle. If you want to earn more, you have to become more. It's that simple. Your outer world is just a reflection of your inner world. This directly connects your personal growth to your bank account. All right, the third key principle builds on this idea of personal growth. Rohn used this amazing metaphor to teach resilience and how to handle the difficulties that life inevitably throws at you. The seasons. Life has cycles, right? There will be winters, economic downturns, personal setbacks, big challenges. You can't stop them from coming. But what you can do is use that winter to get stronger, to learn, to prepare, because just as sure as winter comes, spring always follows. This quote reveals the 4th principle, and it's a game changer. Focus only on what you can actually control, yourself. Don't waste your energy complaining about the seasons. Instead, invest that energy in your own growth, in your own preparation. Use the hard times to get better. Okay, the last 2 principles combine to create a complete philosophy for wealth. And it's not just about making money, it's about how you manage it and the mindset of abundance you build along the way. The 5th principle is this simple, disciplined plan for every single dollar that comes in after taxes. It's the 70-10-10-10 rule. You live on 70%. Then you set aside 10% for charity, 10% for capital investment to grow your money, and 10% for savings to create security. But hey, a budget is just math. The 6th and final principle is all about the psychology behind the numbers. It's about actively cultivating an abundance mindset. And this little story of the 2-quarter person captures it perfectly. Rohn's mentor, Mr. Shoaff, asked him this simple question after a kid gave him a fantastic shoe shine. Should he tip the boy 1/4 or 2? The choice seems so small, but the impact is profound. And this is the genius of it. Tipping 1/4 is an act of scarcity. It makes you feel cheap. But tipping 2, it makes you feel prosperous, generous. For the price of a single quarter, you've completely changed your self-image for the entire day. So there you have it, the 6 principles. But Rohn was adamant that just knowing them is totally useless without the master key that unlocks everything: action. Hearing these ideas, feeling inspired, that's not the work. The real work is in the doing. You can repeat affirmations all day long, but if you don't follow them up with disciplined action, you're really just fooling yourself. A philosophy is useless until you actually apply it. After hearing all this, you really have to ask yourself, why not me? Why can't I be the person who applies these ideas, who develops the skills, who masters the seasons, and who builds a life of abundance and discipline? And if you can do it, what are you waiting for? Why put off a better future? Rohn's journey from $57 a week to a life of true wealth and happiness, it all started with a single decision to change. So why not make that decision right now?